All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on all those AI buzzwords that have completely taken over every single business meeting. You know the feeling, right? Like you need a special translator just to keep up with your own strategy sessions. Well, if that's you, you are in exactly the right place.
So, does this sound a little familiar? Picture this. You're in a planning meeting, the slide is up, people are nodding seriously, but inside you're just thinking, wait, what do those words actually mean? Trust me, that exact scene is playing out in boardrooms all over the world right now.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Probably half the people in that room are wondering the exact same thing, but, nobody wants to be the one to raise their hand and ask. And that little gap, that silence, that's exactly where big projects start to go completely off the rails. So here's the thing. The real problem isn't a lack of AI, it's a lack of a shared language. Because when the team doesn't agree on what these words mean, the scope gets blurry, the budget starts to balloon, and the deadlines, well, they just fall apart. And that's the core problem we're going to solve today. Don't worry, we've got a super clear path to get you there. We're going to start with the absolute core concepts, then jump into the language revolution that's happening right now. After that, we'll do a reality check on cost versus complexity, and we'll wrap it all up with a decision guide you can literally use in your next meeting. Okay, first up, let's build your foundation. We have to start with the terms that everyone, and I mean everyone, in a business leadership role needs to be solid on. Let's start with the big one, AI, artificial intelligence. The easiest way to think about this is as a giant umbrella. It covers absolutely anything a machine does that just feels smart. Like when Google Maps reroutes you around a traffic jam, or when Netflix just knows you want to watch another documentary. That's all part of the AI universe. So let's get a bit more specific and talk about machine learning, or ML. For this one, I want you to imagine your favorite barista. The first few times you go in, they don't know your order. But after a while, they start noticing patterns. You always get oat milk. You never take sugar. And pretty soon, they're starting your drink the second you walk in the door. That's all ML is, learning from past data to make really good predictions about the future. And for business leaders, this is where ML is just a workhorse. It's fantastic for stuff like fraud detection, predicting which customers might leave, or forecasting demand for your products. But here is the most important takeaway. If you already have solid internal data, ML can be way, way cheaper than the new, flashy AI models. The real investment isn't the tech, it's the time you'll spend cleaning up your data to make it useful. Okay, now we're stepping into the language revolution. This is all about the technologies that are driving this huge wave of AI innovation that you're hearing about constantly. And right at the heart of all this is generative AI, or GenAI. And you know what? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's AI that generates brand new, original content. It's not just analyzing things that already exist. It's actually producing text, images, audio, even computer code, all from a simple prompt you give it. The absolute best way to think about GenAI in a business setting, it's like having a super fast, brilliant creative intern. You give it a brief, like, hey, can you draft 5 versions of a launch email with a fun, friendly tone? And boom, in seconds, you have 5 drafts. Your job then is just to be the editor, review, refine, and ship. It's a massive accelerator. But, and this is a really critical warning, GenAI models are not calculators. They don't give you one single guaranteed correct answer. They are plausibility engines. They just generate whatever seems statistically most likely to be the right answer. And that's why they sometimes hallucinate or just make things up. It's because, to the model, it sounded plausible. So what's the engine driving all this incredible language stuff? In most cases, it's a large language model, an LLM. This is a very specific type of GenAI that's been trained on just an insane amount of text data. Its whole job is to understand and generate human-like language with all its nuance and context. These are the engines behind pretty much all the modern chat tools you're using today. Now, here's a little twist that could literally save your entire budget. You don't always need the biggest large model. For a lot of the simpler tasks, things like classifying support tickets or pulling names out of a document, a small language model, or SLM, can do the job just as well, and often for 1/10 of the cost. It's all about using the right size tool for the job. All right, let's talk about 2 words that are absolutely crucial for your budget: training versus inference. Think of it this way. Training is like studying for the bar exam. It's a massive, one-time effort to learn all the patterns. Inference, on the other hand, is like actually practicing law with clients. It's when you use the model. And here's the key. Those shocking surprise AI bills, they almost always come from inference costs that sneak up on you as you scale.
This brings us to what feels like the next frontier, agents. So an agent isn't just a chatbot that gives you an answer. No, it's a whole system that can actually plan steps and then take actions. It combines that AI brain with real-world tools like your company's APIs and databases to solve problems from start to finish.
Let's make that really practical. A chatbot might just tell you, your order is delayed. Okay, thanks. But an agent would say, hey, I saw your order was delayed, so I've already checked with the carrier. I opened a support ticket for you, I sent a notification to the customer, and I've updated the ETA in our system. See the difference? One informs, the other acts.
Okay, deep breath. We've got the definitions down. Now for what I think is the most important part of this whole thing, applying a business reality filter. This is all about understanding the real-world trade-offs between cost, complexity, and of course, risk.
This right here, this is your cheat sheet for making smart decisions. Classic ML is amazing for prediction and usually has a lower cost, but its big risk is the quality of your data. As you climb this ladder to LLMs and especially to agents, the things you can do get more powerful, but the cost and the risk of something going wrong also shoot way up. Just remember this. What a technology means is so much less important than what it's going to cost you and how it might fail. And you can see how that risk just escalates as you go up the stack. The risk with ML is mostly internal. It's about your data. With LLMs, you start worrying about output quality and data privacy. But agents are in a totally different league. Because when your AI can actually take actions in the real world on your behalf, the potential for a catastrophic failure is at its absolute highest. It's also really helpful to just understand who's doing what in this whole space. At the very bottom, you've got the frontier labs like OpenAI and Google that are building the core engines. Then the big cloud providers like AWS and Azure make it possible to run those engines at scale. On top of that, you have ecosystem tools that help developers build products. And at the very top, you have the commercial products like Microsoft Copilot that real people actually buy and use. Knowing this helps you figure out where you fit in and whether you should be building or buying. All right, let's bring it all home. This is your actionable guide. This is how you take everything we just talked about and put it to work, like in your very next meeting.
It's really this simple. Use this decision tree. If the business goal is to predict something, start with good old-fashioned ML. If you need to generate new content, then you need GenAI. If the task is to understand or classify text, your job is to choose the right sized model, an LLM or an SLM. And if you need the AI to actually act on its own, well, then you're building an agent, and you'd better have some serious guardrails in place.
So I'm going to leave you with one final question. This is the question that I think every single leader should be asking their teams for the next couple of years. Before you automatically reach for the biggest, most powerful, most expensive model out there, just stop and ask, hey, could a smaller, cheaper, and faster small language model handle this job first? I'm telling you, the answer to that question could be the difference between a sustainable, successful AI strategy and a really, really high cloud bill.